kind of already answered it. All right. It's senior year, high school. You just got your tray. You just got that chocolate milk on that tray. You got to go sit at the table in the lunch hall. Where you sitting at, bro? What table?
Yeah, so I'm usually sitting with like not popular people just because my best of friends were not like my best friend or just not a popular person. But we rode to school together and he was just my dog and I always ate lunch with him. So that's who I ate lunch with, was just my best friend.
You
up.
Walking past the jock table, you forsaken. What about the bruhs? We beatboxing over. We telling all our homies, yo, that's Slim right there. Yo, Slim, come over. And you walking past all of us.
I would see those guys in the hallway afterwards and we would cut it up. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiend, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talk your with Donato.
Welcome in, everyone. Yo, I'm excited about this one. I'm smiling already. I won't ever say I got favorites, but this is the guy. And we'll talk about that. Y'all will figure it out. This is episode 62. Slim is the name that they gave me. But our guest, Steve Lim. Steve, it's kind of late in the evening, but I want to know, how did that day go for you?
The day went good. I worked a half day. It's the 28th of December. Worked a half day today. Came home, spent some time with the kid, and then just kind of chilled out, and then did my own podcast here around 8:30 East Coast time. It's 10:30 now, and linking up with my old boy Donato. And here we are, man. So it's a good day. I'm off tomorrow, heading to North Carolina to see some friends this weekend with the family, and bring in the New Year's that way. So I am in a good spot right now. It is the weekend for me. So
that sounds like a great day. You made time for yourself. You made time for the kids. I didn't know we was gonna get into some parental mentorship right here, but I guess that's how you keep it happy. You got to make that time for yourself and like your endeavors. I see.
Yes,
that's the mix.
You got to have the good balance. It's tough. Not like my kids are 5, 7, and 9 now, and they're all doing activities. My oldest in travel soccer, so it's like we're always on the move. You got to take advantage of what little time you get to yourself, because you got for your own mental well-being. You got to have that unload time for just for you.
Yo, we're gonna get into some other stuff, but since you started there, I want to get into that. All right, first of all, bruh. I'm gonna ask you this. I bet in your circle you got a lot of kids. Like your friends, ain't nobody doing 3 nowadays, right?
Yeah, not really.
No, that seems like an uncommon number.
It's like two is the most popular. Yeah. I grew up. I'm a middle child too. I'm 2 of 3.
Okay.
Yeah, but most people, our friends, usually they're all 2 is like the sweet spot for a lot of people.
It's a shock because when you are making your moves, I guarantee you're like a legend to your friends who's like, dog, I don't even know how you're doing it with 3. Am I right?
Yes, because they we're struggling with 2 and life is so crazy and we don't know what to do. I'm like, hey, you got man-to-man coverage. We're in zone. Sometimes it's a soft zone. And we're willing to give up some points where bend don't break sort of defense. Right. So it's tough, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
All right. Whose decision was it to make number 3? Like, was the plan always to have 3, or you ain't even run nothing up in the house?
So
made you.
So the plan was a boy and a girl. That was just the plan. And first one was a boy, named him Junior. I was happy. Second one was a boy. Okay, let's go for another one because we got to have a girl, right? And all of ours were surprises. So during all the sonograms, we never knew what we didn't want to know. So we didn't know till out came the baby. And my words every time was, honey, he's got a, what? That's how we notified. And then we were like, okay, we can't do 4. 4 is just not like economically smart. We thought about it. We were like, it's just going to be another boy. That's what Asian guys do. We produce boy. The Chinese side, I'm half Chinese. So the Chinese guy, we just produce boys. I guess that's within our DNA, because I didn't know this either, but of course we learned this in high school, but the male determines the sex of the child. So apparently I cannot make girls. So I needed a lesson from you, sir, on how to do that. I don't know how to do it.
Yo, I'm out here making supermodels. You don't want that life, though. You're gonna have to get a shotgun. You're gonna have to get a rifle with a scope. You're gonna have to start sniping dudes. Girls is problems.
Terrifying. It scares me to death.
But although, see, Steve, we gonna get into this on the podcast. Yo, don't let wifey listen to this one because we coming back to that. You're a nice dude, man. You've always been a nice dude. I had some player years. So I think that's why karma made me get these girls. I needed some payback. There's some girls that did some crying out there because of Donato. Let's get into that. So, Steve, have you ever broke a heart?
Yeah, I have a couple, what? But it was usually centered around like I was military. In your military, you're not there for too long, and it's just like, I'm going somewhere else. I'll probably never come back here again.
Yeah,
it's just like, and it was, it's just casual dating, and it's just, and I never did that before because that was usually happened to me. But so I did break a couple hearts, not on purpose, but just kind of had to do it, be truthful and honest. Didn't want to just drag it along. And so, yes, I have done that, but I blame the military, being so mobile, how it is, only one spot for a short time. So,
yo, that lid is fire, yo.
Appreciate it.
I hope that we got our audio listeners decide to go to YouTube so they could check this. But that lid is the truth. How old is that thing?
I just got this a couple months ago. It was a Father's Day gift from the wife, so she hooks me up with all the good sports gear.
Man, she got good taste though.
She does.
All right. Okay. Everyone
got this new District of Columbia Wizard shirt too. So these colors, if you don't know, when Benjamin Banneker originally did the borders of DC, he put these stones all around the square, and they weathered over time until like this patina color, and they had these stakes in the ground. And this is the colors that they kind of morphed into. I know it looks very Miami, but this is the anniversary colors for this year. They have a couple different courts, so it came out like this, kind of like a teal color. So it's just kind of a new scheme that all the teams have their own special colors this year. And this was the Wizards, as bad as they are, but I love them and I represent them as much as I can.
Yeah, we gonna get to that. We coming back to that one. I don't really want to. At least y'all not the Pistons.
That's
breaking news.
27 in a row.
They just extended their streak. It's now 28. It was an overtime loss, if I'm correct. So they tried, but they failed. It's 28 now, brother. Longest in NBA history. It seems like I remember some bad teams, but I guess they just lost 18 in a row, 1-1. The tanking. Like
just enough to reset it.
They tanked to get Tim Duncan.
Of course.
The Knicks, they tanked to get Patrick Ewing. I mean,
Georgetown's finest.
The Sixers got Allen Iverson. I'm just saying, I know some teams did some things.
Yeah.
But this is like a lesson in futility.
It's egregious.
I'm so embarrassed for my Detroit homies. But here's the thing, though. I want you to know, because I know you're a football fan, I'm on the record. For all my Michigan homies, they know, coming into this year, I told them I expected great things out of Detroit. And it looks pretty good for them.
You're talking about the Lions?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were my sleeper pick for the NFC East this summer, too. I just loved everything. What's his name? Dan Campbell was doing. A full staff of former players, never been done before.
Yeah.
And Hard Knocks, if you watched Hard Knocks, they just kind of hyped them up. But I bought into it, and I was like, these guys are building something special. And I'm a huge love the Lions, man. Love what they're doing. They're doing it. They're doing it right over there.
And respect to Jared Goff, man, because they pushed him out of the Rams. It was almost like it's your fault, dog.
Yeah.
And
you're the problem.
Glad people are realizing he's got talent.
Oh, man. Yeah. It wasn't the Stafford Goff trade was another thing, but I like Jared Goff, man. He's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, he is. And he's got talent. I don't know. Is it David Montgomery? Is it Jared Gibbs? Like, I don't know.
Puka Nacua.
That's like 1 and 2. But hey, that's the most Lions fans get on any podcast. So they happy. I'm gonna make sure my Michigan homies listening on this because they be like, I don't want to hear about some guy Steve Lim. No. we did Lions talk, and then
That's
they
right.
hooked. So okay, so Steve, let's go back. I named the podcast Slim is the name that they gave me because your nickname is Slim.
That's right.
Your name is Steve Lim. Bruh,
right.
hold on, man. For those who don't know, Steve seems like he could be anywhere and blend with anybody. If you took this dude to a hoedown, I guarantee you, if you put a cowboy hat and some boots on him, he's sitting with the homies. If you took him to a Nelly concert back in 01, he probably gonna get invited on stage. If you took him to a cookout in Mississippi, I don't even know if he ever been to Mississippi. He's blending. You take him to the biggest surf event in Huntington Beach, I guarantee you he's doing that. Steve, how are you so multifaceted? We run this information, dog. We want to know where you're from and why you are so multifaceted. Because my opinion, a lot of people don't know this, but I think when you run this info, they're gonna see how are you so multifaceted and so smooth in your movements from this group to that group. How's that work?
Yeah, I think it's a multitude of things, but clearly, we are based on our foundations, right? Foundation's the strongest part of the house. I was born in Alexandria, Virginia. Lived in a rough neighborhood right outside of Old Town, and moved away when I was 7 in '87. Car stolen a bunch of times. It was just a rough neighborhood.
Yeah,
houses sounds like $1 million now, but moved to Woodbridge, Virginia. Spent all my years there. Played sports. Very diverse area. Very diverse school. We all kind of melting pot of just different ethnicities and races, and I was just born just to be around everybody and get along with everybody. I was kind of like that one person that, like the tie that binds. Everyone has their cliques, but I'm inside everyone's cliques. And some people don't like that. I'm in with the jocks. I'm in with the smart kids. I'm getting straight A's. I'm in with the ROTC crew. I just enjoyed being around different groups of people because I felt like it gave me energy. And then, go to college. You and I go to college at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona, and that is a immensely diversified school, right? And I think diversity breeds innovation. Different opinions, different points of views gives you a perspective, and you just got to have an open mind. And I just taken that approach everywhere I've been. And being in the military, just like you said, I was in the Army, went there after graduating college, and that just keeps you also exposed to all kinds of walks of life and the way people are. So I think just the way I've been brought up, college, the military, I've just been around all kinds of different people, and it's been fantastic. And I just kind of blend in where I go, just open mind, be a sponge, try to learn, never have a closed mind, never, have a formulated opinion till you can actually experience something yourself. So I think that's why I'm able to just go be adaptable wherever I kind of go, though.
They named you Steve Lim, though, and then you get to morph that into a nickname named Slim. I bet ain't nobody ever complained about your nickname or try to give you anything else. Maybe. But, bruh, where they get the name from? Steve? Where they get that from?
The Steve. So I was named Steve. My name is Stephen Joseph. So I was named after both of my grandfathers. So on my father's side, he was named Stephen. On my mother's side, the grandfather was named Joseph. So it was Stephen Joseph Lim. But Steve Lim. I'm growing up on my sports jerseys. It was always your first dot last name. So it was S. Lim. So the name just kind of stuck, you know what I mean? It's not like Slim Shady or whatever, right. Slim is a very DC slang term too, but it was literally S. Lim. So it just came out Slim on the football jerseys, the baseball jersey. It just worked out that way. And so when I get to college, it just kind of just came with me, and that's kind of where it just stuck.
Steve, I feel very comfortable with you, but bro, we got to get to some stuff here. You already said, so you said you're half Chinese. Okay. That's new information here. But, bruh, the Asians don't roll like that. Like, ain't nobody, look around. Ain't nobody got a Chinese dude. Sorry, half Chinese, but, ain't nobody got no Chinese dude in their circle. The Chinese dude ain't at the cookout.
That's true.
You know how rare this is. Like, I feel like you holding it down for all the Asian
I'm trying, man. I'm the hybrid, right? I'm the hybrid crossbreed, just trying to blaze trails where I go. But I've just, like I said, I've been around a bunch of different races and cultures growing up, and I love them all, man. I love everybody, and yeah, just being from the DMV area, you know how it goes, man. We're just it can be, very pockets of specific races and stuff, but for the most part, it's a melting pot, man. It's great.
So you said that you was in the military. You blend a little too good. I don't even know how you got this fake name, though. This is fake. I'm gonna say it to your face. You and your fake name. Yo, Steve, you a spy? Because
it would fit, right? It would fit.
Pretty sure that's what you probably did in the Army.
I was a former intelligence officer. I was a former intelligence officer in the Army.
Yo, see.
So there are some training that we get, to talk to people. You can, elicit information from someone just through casual conversation, and different tips and tricks to read body language and kind of how to steer a conversation. So yes, but I think that was later in life. It didn't change who I was at the time. It just kind of made me a little.
Now the Army knew. The Army knew. They did their little background checks.
Yeah.
They was giving you a little top secret super squirrel clearance thing, and they was like, "Yo, we got one. This dude, you're 007." See,
yeah, I try to be.
There's gonna be someone ignorant enough to try to get rid of the Slim nickname and give you something else. I didn't know it was gonna be me, but 007.
I knew that's where you were going with it. I knew it.
Yeah. I'm glad. Okay, so the Army ain't as bad as we all think, because they take our cousins and our cousins never come back. Did you ever get that stereotype? That means that your cousin is having fun and they like in the military. It don't mean it's like prison. If they go away and they stay away, they love it.
It was a way out for a lot of people, right? Like some people never left where they grew up in high school. But all the people that went in the military, they traveled, they went abroad, found a spouse, significant other, and then now they're living life after the military. So I fully support the military, just to get away for some people.
Okay, so you already was from a diverse spot. I mean, it sounds like you got eyes open. You kind of see the world and that the appreciation of other people. Give me one spot you went for the military that just like blew your mind and you had a lot of fun. Like, what was your favorite spot the military sent you?
Man, it was funny because I was always deployed so much. But I did a 1-year tour in Korea, and that was fun because we went in a place called Gwangju. It was in the southwestern part of Korea. I was a Patriot missile officer at the time, and we were moving our Patriot battalion from Fort Bliss, Texas, and El Paso to Korea, and so. We get there, there's not a huge American presence, and we go out in the town, and everywhere we go, they were buying us free meals. And It was just crazy to be welcomed, and it was insane. It was so awesome. The nightlight was cool. We didn't have cell phones that had like Google Translate. Like you had your book that you tried to flip through and couldn't find the right place to get on a taxi or train. But Korea was just awesome, and I loved every second of it. It was so good, such a good time. And as a Patriot guy, North Korea was a threat at the time. So we actually got to do real mission, but on the weekends and in your downtime, you actually got to have fun and go see the Korean nightlife. So I loved Korea, man, as a military.
I believe in stereotypes for the humor, Steve. I'm going to drop a couple on your head in a little while here. But what I heard in Korea, them boys are serious about their basketball. Maybe in social media, people see how serious they are in China about it. But tell me, bro, how many courts did you see when you was in Korea? And I bet they were always packed.
So the problem was we weren't allowed to do a lot of that stuff outside of town. And a lot of other places you can, because it's more developed. Where we were, it was you had your base and then everything else was outside the base. So it was very limited of how you could do what you could do when you could do. So all the basketball play when I was in Korea was intramural league, like we had in college, on the base against other intramural teams. So I didn't get to experience the basketball life with the like Korean population, but it would have been so much fun. But I know exactly what you're talking about. The boys are serious about balling over there.
Yes. All right. So now we coming all the way back. You said that you lived in a rough spot. You moved out of there at 7, so that's like second grade. Come on, man. Steve, you're from the hood. My words, but you're from the hood. And did you say that as you progressed through school, you ended up knocking out straight A's? Like, look, Bro, when did you graduate high school? What was that GPA? We need to know
So
this.
it was my GPA was 3.92. So I was ranked 112th out of 616. I still remember this. So there was 112 people in front of me of a graduating class of 616 in Woodbridge Senior High School, class 98. So yeah, I school. The downfall to me though, D, was this: school was easy to me. I didn't have to really apply myself in high school. It was so natural. I
Yeah.
was so good at everything, every subject, math, English, science. Math was my subject, right? And I didn't have to study. It just came so easy. Did all my homework inside school, so I didn't do a lot of work outside of like at home. Like everything was done in school. I stayed after school to do everything in the library, junior
Yeah.
ROTC and stuff. And so when it came time for the SATs, I blundered. My family didn't really go to college, so I didn't know what an SAT prep course was.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to prepare for the SATs. I'm like, I'm just going to take them. I took those things 4 times, and I couldn't get over 1100. So I had a nomination to West Point, but because I couldn't get a 1200 on the SATs, I couldn't accept that nomination from my school to attend.
No.
Yeah, it was very disheartening, very sad. So then I went the ROTC route, Army ROTC scholarship. And so when I got to college, I didn't know how to study. So I struggled my freshman year. I had to go see tutors, like teach me how to study because I don't know how. I never had to.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish high school wasn't so easy for me. Kind of wish I had applied myself a little bit more, took some more AP classes, challenged myself, but I didn't know how to study, bro. It was very difficult for me coming to college, and my freshman year was hard. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, listeners, y'all see that? I told you this dude, he's smooth. That's why his name is Slim. He's smooth. He's nice. He just told the rest of us how dumb we are in comparison to him, that he slept through. So sorry, sir, that you didn't do more AP classes. Bruh, wait a minute. You tell me you had a 3.92 and you ain't happy?
No, I was happy. I was happy with it, but it didn't set me up for college. I almost failed my freshman year of college because I didn't know how to study. It didn't every riddle.
Well, now I gotta know then. How did you not get a 4.0? Like what tripped you up to bust you down to a 3.92? Was that at the beginning of high school?
Yeah, it was at the beginning of high school. Yeah, it was at the beginning.
So you was playing catch up after that.
Yeah, but it was also because just being lazy. I just didn't, oh yeah, I'll skip that homework assignment. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't for lack of, it was definitely for lack of trying. It was like, I'm not worried about it. And then last 2.5 years, I just knuckled down and just pushed, applied myself to get A's, and that was it.
Okay, so the stereotype part, because I told you they coming. I'm gonna sprinkle them all throughout.
Asians were good at math. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, how many times do you like a nice and humble dude? Please tell me at some points in your life you drop that on people. Like, yo,
all the time.
Okay.
And my grandfather, the one who migrated from China to the United States in the late 30s.
Whoa.
Yeah, he came over from late 30s with my grandmother, who was from Hong Kong, and he enlisted in the U.S. Army, fought in the Korean War. He was an infantryman, but he translated Chinese radios, like the wind talkers. You know what the wind talkers were?
Yeah.
But he did that for the Chinese. So before there was like linguists, he was intercepting Chinese communications during the Korean War. So
y'all a family of spies.
Well, he came back. He was an engineer for Raytheon. Well, it was what now we know as Raytheon now. Formerly was called E-Systems. And he designed stuff on the SR-71. He was an electrical engineer. So always good at math. And he always just rode me. You got to be good at math. So the stereotype was there, bro. At the time, I didn't know it. You don't know these things as a kid. But yeah, he kind of drove that into my head as a young child.
I'm so, bro, this is like an amazing. Is your grandfather still alive?
No, he passed away freshman year of college. So 1998, he passed away. It's a long time ago.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, you did say the 30s. My bad. Hey, see, I ain't good at that. Sorry to bring that up. But okay, so I'd like to know a little bit about that story. Did he come in, him and grandma come in through Ellis Island? And then where did they go? Because in those days, Chinese people, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it was a rough go. I don't know the immigration story, to be honest with you. Right. I don't know. But I know there was definitely a down picture on them, like they were looked down, because a lot of people, in America at the time, they were kind of ignorant, right? Let's be honest.
Yes.
Diversity wasn't a thing they had. They just lumped everyone else with it was of Asian, or at the time, Oriental in air quotes. Everyone was a Jap. Everyone was the same. So you can follow Bruce Lee's story coming to San Francisco a little bit later. He encountered the same thing. So but I think the Army kind of helped them get through that too. So
Hong Kong.
Yeah, my grandmother's from Hong Kong. Yeah.
Do you know? We still got some cousins or something over there that you were aware
not really.
of?
Most of the family migrated to the States. A lot of them settled in New York City, Queens area. In fact, my uncle Peter Tom was the first Asian Supreme Court justice. He's in the Supreme. He's a retired justice now, but he was in the New York State Supreme Court, the first Asian American judge to ever be on any state Supreme Court ever. He was a Golden Glove boxer in his younger years. But yeah, Justice Peter Tom, you can look him up. Good, very, very cool stuff.
Forget that, he was nice with them hands.
That's right. He could throw. Gloves. He could throw the hands.
Yeah. That's what. He won't take nothing from nobody.
Yeah, he's long retired though.
And he grew up in New York.
I believe so. Yeah,
that's cool.
The family made trips back to China when I was younger, when it was much cheaper, and I almost went one time, but didn't have a passport and never went. So it was always just like my father, my aunt, my grandmother, they would always just go back, and then but no one goes back these days anymore.
So if your last name is Lim, so that means your dad is Chinese, and you said you're half. What's the other half? If you ask me, I'm thinking. You have brother. I know that's not an actual race, but what is the other half?
It's as white as they come, man. As white as they come. Yeah, my mother. I mean, she'll say that, Irish, German, Cherokee, India, the 5,000 things. So yes, I'm half white, half Chinese. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Have you ever did one of those DNA tests?
I actually have one. I haven't taken it, but I got it from ancestry.com. I got to do it. I have one. I just need to do it.
My wife gave me one. I would have never have done it.
Yeah.
I would have never have done it, but she got it for like Christmas.
Yeah.
Did it. Bruh. I was wondering my goatee here got all this red.
What you got?
I'm like 9% Irish.
What?
Did not know that.
No way.
My wife is Eastern European. I got more Finnish blood than she is. I'm like 7% Finnish.
Oh my god, that's fascinating.
And man, my whole life, I thought we was from Cuba and Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
and then we always heard we was Native American. Oh, I got some Native American, but from South America, from Chile.
Oh yeah.
We thought we was like Cherokee, like right here in Virginia, North Carolina, Native American. Nope. Bruh, you gonna find some stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. And then of all the Africans, my highest percentage is Nigerian, which is really cool. And then the rest is like all the coastal. So I'm like all West Africa. But you know me, I'm 5'5". I'm not the tall Africans. That ain't my lineage. And those are not the West Africans. They heading over Eastern. So yeah, which explains it all, man. I see why I'm 5'5". I'm one of them. But yeah, man, I learned a lot. And so yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. Now I want to know, because I want to know, do I got more Irish than you? That'd be funny. And
yeah,
because it's biology, right? It's just biology.
And then you can go online and build out your family tree and stuff too, which I did years ago, working night shift for a job, and I got a cool tree. Not too bad. Now I just got to get the DNA kit and see if it actually matches and stuff. So,
did any of your kids come out with like blue eyes or anything anti-Chinese?
Yeah. So my kids are now officially a quarter, right? Because my wife is Polish and Italian, like straight up. Her last name, just a bunch of consonants thrown together. I can't even spell it for you.
She gonna listen to the pie. Don't worry about it.
But my first two kids, I wanted them to have black hair because that's they came out with dark brown hair, which is what my wife has. Oh. And my second son is a direct reflection of me. He is my twin. You could hold our pictures. We look exactly alike. He just has dark brown hair instead of black. My third son came out with, I'm not gonna say blonde hair, but very, 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 very light brown hair. Very trippy. Not trippy, like I'm gonna accuse my wife of being with the mailman trippy, but it was just like, yeah, that's odd. It's getting darker now as he's gotten older, but curly hair, and it just not. I don't have curly hair. My other kids are straight hair.
I ain't
Curly
never
light brown
seen
hair.
an Asian dude. I'm gonna love all Asians together. I ain't never seen a curly haired Asian.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not
And then
saying they
I'm
not out there.
I'm 6'1", and Asians usually have really good hair. I'm bald. I lost my hair at 23, so it's like I have the weird parts of different sides of the family. So I'm tall, which they're not usually tall.
You stole that one from me. I was gonna say, dang, bro, you 6'1"?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, so
73.
Wow,
yeah, 73, 6'1".
And that's nuts.
2.5.
When'd you stop growing?
I think I kept growing after college. I really did. I think I felt like I was like 5'9", 5'8" in college. I kept going. I don't know. Didn't even learn how to work out till I got in the military. Properly, anyways, with weights and stuff.
So I always ask people, you kind of already answered it. All right, it's senior year, high school. You just got your tray. You just got that chocolate milk on that tray. You got to go sit at the table in the lunch hall. Where you sitting at, bro? What table?
Yeah, so I'm usually sitting with like not popular people, just because my best of friends were not like my best friend, or just not a popular person. But we rode to school together, and he was just my dog, and I always ate lunch with him. So that's who I ate lunch with, was just my best friend.
You walking past the jock table, you forsaken. What about the bruhs? We beatboxing over. We telling all our homies, yo, that's Slim right there. Yo, Slim, come over. And you walking past all of us.
I would see those guys in the hallway afterwards, and we would cut it up. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I did it, man. That's how I did it.
You a real one. You a real one. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, so you said you played some sports. The jocks knew you. What you play, bro? What you do?
Yeah, so growing up, played baseball and football. Those are my two sports. In Woodbridge, growing up, the leagues, the local, I guess you could call them rec leagues or county leagues, man, they were huge. Everybody played those. That's where everyone. I don't know how it is today, but back then, Eastern Prince William County Sports Club was where you played ball, and then I did that multiple years throughout time, and then. Freshman year of high school, played some football, tried out for the baseball team, but I really slacked on my skills. Baseball was my sport, and I just slacked off, and once again thought I didn't have to apply myself, and I didn't make it. I was a catcher, but I was like, you know what? I can go play left field because left field's awesome. But I was a catcher growing up, and as a catcher, you have a distinct throwing style, and I was arrogant and didn't apply myself, and I didn't try out for catcher. But that was the position I played my entire life, and got cut. And then from that point, I kind of turned my attention to junior ROTC and I gave up all sports sophomore year of high school. Yeah, fully committed to junior. I became like on the armed male drill team, so I'm spinning rifles after school, and I committed fully to the ROTC life after that, man.
So how'd you keep those skills up?
I continued to play in the rec leagues. Like I played outside of school, where the talent was still there. So I continued to play. And then my senior year, I hurt my herniated disc in my back, and I stopped sports altogether. But when I stopped playing sports in high school, I really focused on martial arts out of my personal life. So I took Kempo karate growing up, and that was like my thing. I dropped everything, and it was like karate was everything. That's what I focused all my attention on, and it was fun.
Kempo, wait a minute. What was the dude? Don't tell me. That was the song. Don't tell me.
You said it.
Perfect weapon.
The perfect weapon. Just speak it. Yes. So he was one of the American Kempo karate. What I took. Ed Parker. If you remember in the Bruce Lee story, Bruce Lee displays his first Jeet Kune Do was his art. His first time he presented that was at Ed Parker's karate team. Ed Parker was the founding father of American Kempo karate. So there's a linkage between Bruce and Ed Parker and then the American Kempo karate. So yeah, good stuff.
What belt did you get up to?
I was a 3rd degree brown. I was about to get my black belt, and I hurt my herniated disc in my back. I was working at a restaurant lifting beer kegs, probably illegally. I was 16, wasn't supposed to. I would get beer kegs out of the walk-in freezer as a busboy, and then I just snapped it one day, and it just weird. And then over time, and had surgery freshman year of college. I kept that a secret.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Wait a minute, bro. Yes. I knew you all these years. You had a 3rd degree brown belt.
Yes.
I could have been picking fights. We could.
Well, if some of the people I rode with in high school knew that, and they kind of put it to the, even though I said, guys, please stop. This is not, there's no need to go out and pick fights. But yeah, never had to really use it a couple times, mostly all in college.
Right. Okay, Steve, those times you had to use it, did you break into the stance or you kept it?
Oh, no. I mean,
how did you?
There was a bar out in Stetson. I forget what it was called. It was where we always went on Thursdays. And with some of the ROTC kids, and they knew, and I was like, come on, man. And they knew the crew I rode with, like Freddie and the guys, we could get down. And they got, arrogant with some of that liquid courage, and they go start a fight with some kids. And it's just like, man, I just snapped into, I saw my friend get hit. I did a spin kick and I just kicked the dude down the stairs, and I turned around and I thought this guy was coming at me. I don't know if he was or not. And I just dropped. He had a cigarette in his mouth. All you saw was sparks fly. And then I don't know if he was going to hit me or not, but at that point, you don't know. You got to just act, right? And I wasn't drinking or anything.
Newport.
It
was just hanging on his lip. He just
and then the other time I had to do it, same place. We were walking to a bar, and we saw a kid from Riddle by himself in the parking lot getting harassed by these kids from another school because he stepped on another kid's shoe wearing Jordans, right?
Right.
So we roll up, me, Randy, Freddie, like 2 other guys, and there's like 6 of those dudes, and there's like 3 of us. And we protect the dude, and it's just, oh man. And I remember that one. I felt so bad. I with my, and I'm not even a lefty, this kid, he swung on me, he missed. And I just took my left hand and just beat him into a pulp, dude, to the ground. And then I'm like, dude, that's it. Stop. Let's stop. We don't need to do this anymore. And he gets up, he's got blood all over his eye. I'm like, dude, look at your face, man. Stop. And meanwhile, I don't even know what's going on with the other guys, handling their business. And that's about it, man. I've never had to get into any confrontations like that ever since college, believe it or not. It's crazy, right?
So you got a 5, a 7, and a 9-year-old.
I do.
They nice with it? What you gonna do?
They are. So I got to get them involved somehow. They're all soccer kids right now. And I really want to get them into martial arts because it's a life skill. I wish I would have started earlier. Actually, I don't even know if I want to get them in martial arts, but if I have a choice, I would love to get them in some sort of like MMA, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like your girls in.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a thing to compete in. That's part of it. It's a life skill, bro. And I think that's what I'm going to teach my kids. I don't want them to be unprepared when it comes time to defend themselves, because I felt in high school, if I had to do it, I wouldn't have been prepared at all. So life skills, huge.
No, it's true. It's true. I have seen plenty. There are a lot of people that I've folded up. They ain't never been in fights, and you can tell it.
Right.
A lot of people have never had their teeth rattled. They've never felt bone connect against their jaw, and it's a shock to them. And they realize once you're scared to get hit, you done lost the fight, because you're not even focused on giving them offense. You're defensive. You're trying to hide and duck. You can't, if you're doing this, you're not hurting them.
Right.
You're in this mode, getting wailed on. I'm taking stuff to the body. Yeah. Get them in.
I had my first concussion, I think, at 9 years old playing football. So I think I was prepared by then. I was running back, ran through the hole. Of course, like an idiot, I didn't duck down. I ran straight up, and I caught the top of a tackler's helmet on my chin. And we didn't have the nice thick pad. We had the thin leather ride-out straps. So the top of his helmet just, and then out cold. Stay in the game, though. Stay in the game.
Let's get back to the familial. I want to get to the stereotype thing.
Yeah.
Again, your dad was not pushing you. Well, maybe baseball, but your dad wasn't pushing you to football, right?
No, it just happened naturally. My brother, of course, my older brother was the first one to play football. He was really good. Taught me a lot of stuff. Taught me how to be tough, and so he kind of blazed the way for me. My dad worked a lot, so he wasn't around a lot. We were a single income family, so he was working 7 days a week sometimes. So it wasn't for a lack of trying. He just, my mom really kind of pushed us into all these sports. So she was a volunteer. She, coached the cheerleading team that we were part of our football team because, you know, you had cheerleaders for a football team. You know, she volunteered on the sports club, you know, board. So we were always in and around the sports club. So yeah, it was just a part of our lives, man. It was really nice.
Steve, I want to know what you were driving in high school.
Okay. I was lucky. I didn't have to buy a car. My dad let me drive his 83 Monte Carlo SS Super Sport. It was so nice. Dark blue. That's the car that got stolen a couple times when we lived in Alexandria. It was an 83.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
But it was immaculate condition. And when I turned 16, because my brother was a very troubled man, you know, in lots of trouble growing up, lots of trouble, in and out of juvenile hall. And, you know, so I was seen as like the good kid, for lack of a better term. So when I turned 16, I had a job, I had straight A's. They let me have the car, not have it, but I could drive it to school. So that's what I drove to school. It was great. It was way too nice for a 16-year-old to be driving, but I never got in an accident, took care of it. And then when my brother got locked up again, I drove his 83 Chevy Citation, which was a big piece of crap. Yeah, I drove that around. It was doo-doo brown too. It was like just dark doo-doo brown.
Hatchback, right?
It's a hatchback. Yeah. So I drove that around too when I couldn't have the Monte Carlo, but I got lucky. I got spoiled.
Bro, let's go back to the stereotype. Dad sounded like he was a down dude. Maybe he got a couple invites to the cookout. How did he fall into that car? Because for the culture.
Yeah. So same thing.
That car meant something.
He grew up in Alexandria, very diverse, you know, area. Went to TC Williams, so they knew the whole "Remember the Titans" thing. That's where they grew up. They grew up, class of '76, man. So they lived that movie, and they're like, "Yes, a lot of that's not true. It was a lot worse than what you saw in the movie." So they grew, you know, they grew up in that whole area. So Dad was always down, man, and never taught us to be discriminatory in any fashion. And at that point in time, there was a little bit of consternation about, you know, marrying outside your race too. So my mom and dad had a little bit of hard time, but eventually everyone came around, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I didn't even think about that part. It was like, I'm sorry, she what?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a great Chinese girl over here we know.
Yeah.
Okay, but Pops was like, nah, man, I'm rolling with that right there. I got Farrah Fawcett over there.
Yeah, my dad did a year of school at University of Delaware, and then just came.
He's a blue hen.
Yeah, blue hen for 1 year, and then they had my brother at 18 years old, man. So there was just no time life had to get started right away for them. So
yeah.
I couldn't imagine having a child at 18. It's crazy.
I want to know what you're listening to right now. When you get in your car, if you're not listening to my podcast, no, what you listening to? What music are you flowing with right now?
Yeah, so I have a couple different playlists, but the go-to list is, man, late 90s, early 2000s hip hop, dude. It's just my go-to. It's just an era of great music that you just can't go wrong with. It's the classics. It's the music you can just hit shuffle and just let it play through, man. The Biggies, the early Outkast, Tupac, you know, the list just goes on and on. It's like the golden era of hip hop, and that's that's what I'm listening to, man.
All right. When your wife get in the car, what y'all listening to?
So if she's in the car, that means usually the kids are in the car, and they have their own playlist, by the way. So their playlist is kind of modern stuff, right? They have a lot of things they see on YouTube from videos and the influencers' life, but they're in a lot of good. They're good with music, man. There are a lot of new hip hop they like. They're actually a lot of pop. My wife just took my middle son to go see the Jonas Brothers in concert. He likes the Jonas Brothers. Oh. Of course, now my wife's a big Taylor Swift fan, so she's trying to push down everybody. But my 7-year-old dude loves Juice WRLD, loves XXXTentacion. Like, he loves those dudes, man. Like, I gotta find the clean versions of a lot of these songs because most of them are cursed, but you can find clean versions of all these songs.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I
rip a lot of stuff from YouTube all the time, and I'm always surprised when I can find something clean. I'm like, okay, somebody, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Whoever cleaned that up.
Yeah, thank you much, because I wasn't going to do it.
So I want to know right now, though. I got to know. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song? Because I know you done got a lot with wifey.
I'm not into Taylor Swift. Like the only one I could tell you off the top of my head is the I think it was called Love Song, but it's like way old. We were both young when all this started. I'm trying to remember the words.
I don't think
I can hear it in my head, but it was like back when she was like country. Like she was country before she was what she is now. So it was like one of those songs.
It's called Love Song?
I think it's called Love Song. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna look that one up though. I'm just curious now. I feel like the only one I know was like Bad Blood.
Oh yeah. That was a very popular one. That's a very popular one.
Yeah. I felt like it had an edge, but that's the only really I can name and like no. I've been waiting for you, man. 62 episodes.
Love Story. Sorry, Love Story.
Oh, okay. Love Story.
It's older. Yeah, and then the NFL can't get enough of Taylor Swift, so she just created a generation. She just created a generation of Kansas City Chiefs fans. Great for the NFL. Great for the NFL.
She did.
Yeah.
You know what I like though? She keeps it real because she's an Eagles fan to the core.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so she really wants Eagles, but her man, he's with the devil because
but his brother is an Eagle. Jason Kelsey, his brother.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
that's hard times for her.
Yeah,
she's doing a great job. She's supporting her guy because she could be wearing Eagles jerseys to the games. She could be a little more obnoxious about it.
It's good for football, but I'm just tired of the camera just flashing up there after every single play.
Yes.
It's like, come on, it's getting a little old.
Yo, what I want to say, Steve, I want to be a little controversial here. How about Simone Biles? She's always at the frozen tundra outside in the stands watching her boo play. Dude, it's called the frozen tundra for a reason. Now, shame on the Packers for not putting her up in a suite like Taylor. Now, if they have offered it, I'll be fair. If they've offered it and she's like, nah, I want to be out in the elements. But come on, man. Come on. We got to do better than that. She's the greatest of all time gymnast, and we got her outside.
Yeah, and why? I don't know if that's by choice or why hasn't what's his name?
Owens.
Jonathan Owens. Why hasn't he put her up in a suite? Not that she can't put her herself, but that's her husband, right? They're married, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, maybe she likes being out in the environment. That's how I guess
either way, she gets the most respect for me because of how Cody gets up in Green Bay and she out there. So she gets number of respect from me. I'm not Swifty bashing because this is the first time I don't talk Taylor Swift in any episode.
Hey,
I
like bring that up. I did not bring that up.
We got into Taylor with Steve. I'm like, yeah, girl. You know he wanted to tell me about his tattoo.
Brought it up. You brought it up.
Tattoo. Hey, I'm telling the story, Steve, to my wife. All right, Steve. I also want to know then, when you were in high school, you had to take a language. I'm sure, like 2 years. I think that's what I had to do. You had to do like 2 years of a language. What did you pick?
Spanish.
Oh,
yeah.
You get all A's?
I did. I did Spanish 1, Spanish 2. I don't know if I did Spanish 3. I kind of wish I would have did Latin. I think Latin would have been cool to do because Latin was an option.
Yeah.
But I did Spanish 1, Spanish for sure.
Steve, you get an all-expense vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you taking the family?
Oof, man, this could be a selfish question or this could be a...
No, I went selfish.
Okay, instead of taking them somewhere educational that would broaden their horizons, I think we would probably do like Atlantis, somewhere in the Bahamas. Or a friend just told me last week he took his family to Hawaii. I forget the name of the place. It starts with an A, but it's in one of the big islands, and apparently it's a very good, very family-friendly, children-friendly resort out there in Hawaii. So probably one of those places because we've never been. Kids have never been on an airplane. We drive everywhere we go. We just haven't had a reason to fly anywhere. So it would be awesome to take them somewhere in an airplane to go do a fun tropical vacation.
Well, now that youngest is 5, because under that, when their ears start popping, they're crying. At least a 5-year-old, you might be able to reason.
And that was my fear. And I know they would have been fine, but some people are like, I don't care. I'm not changing my life because I have a newborn baby. And I'm like, but I don't want to be that guy on a plane whose kid cries the whole time. Like that. Yes. You might not care, but I'm considerate of other people, and I am aware. And I don't want to put someone through that. Well, that they just got to deal with it because that's my child. Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Saying? Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the reasons why we never flew. I know some people are like, I don't care what other people think. Well, I do, because I respect other people's opinions, and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I just respect other people and their ability to enjoy themselves, and not at the expense of my children. Yeah,
Steve, where in America do you want to take the family on a family trip this summer? And I got you. I'm gonna throw you $15,000 for the trip. Where would you go? Where would you take them in America? You got to take your kids somewhere in America. Where you take them?
Man, somewhere in America. I don't want to do Disney. That's just too cliche. I think
that 15 would go quick too.
It would go quick. I think we would probably go. Man, I think it would be cool to go to like maybe Colorado. Colorado would be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe go see like Grand Canyon. No, not Grand Canyon. That's a one and done. I don't want to take them. I would probably do somewhere in California, because I've never really experienced California outside of the military. So I don't know what it's like to go there personally. I have no idea. Never been to Los Angeles. I've never been to, San Diego. I've never been to any of these places.
Oh,
I think California would be pretty cool to go visit. So maybe California, maybe somewhere in California.
And you need to stick to what you do. Make sure you drive it when you do it. Don't fly. You need to drive it, because it's worth it. You got to drive. On the East Coast, y'all got I-95. They got I-5. It goes right along the coast. And, they got elevation over there. So you're looking down at the ocean. You got elevation changes. They got rolling vineyards between SoCal and NorCal, which is NorCal is that San Francisco, that San Jose, the Silicon Valley. So, and then there's even the northern part. Would you believe that there is a place called YOLO, California?
What? No.
Would you believe that there's a place called Yizzix?
No.
Yeah. All of that. There's a place called Eureka, California.
Wow.
I feel like because it's so big, they ran out of stuff, but that's the kind of stuff you would miss if you fly. So trust me on this. You got to do California through your windshield. You have to. And Los Angeles, for the record, was designed. It's the original driving city. So Los Angeles was set up in the 50s. That area, that planning, all of that was set up. It's moniker. It is the driving city. So.
And what's that road that parallels the coast that's supposed to be really nice, like Coastal Highway or some right along?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, I've heard that's beautiful.
You got to do that. And I know you a motorcycle rider. There's something to be said. You will have to ditch the family and do a couple rides up the Pacific Coast Highway. You got to carve the canyons. You kind of got to do that, because I know y'all ain't got no elevation like that over there in Alexandria.
No, I mean you can find some if you go out to Skyline Drive down in the mountains of Virginia out of Front Royal, Winchester. You can hit the whole Appalachian Trail of mountains out there. But you got to get out there. It's good stuff.
Have you ever did the Tail of the Dragon?
No, I have not. I have not. One day.
Try that out.
It's on the bucket list. Yeah. It's a Tennessee. I think it's about an 8 or 9 hour ride from here. So it's on the to-do list one day. It's not bad.
I was living in Fayetteville when I went and did it. So it's well worth it. So much fun. You spoke of Appalachian Trail. I interviewed a guy who just retired as lieutenant colonel in the Army. He did the Appalachian Trail. He started up there in Vermont and walked all 2,200 miles all the way down to Georgia. It took him 5 months.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Steve, Brothers Don't Hike. This dude kind of got me excited. It was a great interview, and he won't even try to sell it. He ain't a boastful dude. Matter of fact, he's an introvert. But it was such a great experience to hear him talk through it. Now he lost me a couple times. But by and large, he got a brother intrigued.
Did he just do it? He stayed on the trail, lived on the trail for 5 months, like didn't come off?
Sir.
I think you can stay in hotels along. There's hotels along there, and
there's hostels. He talked about, what does he call them? Anyway, there's like along the trail, they have like outdoor shelters. It's really like a 3-sided wood crate, just to kind of keep the elements off of you if it's raining. Because he was stuck under one once, I think, while it was raining. He went through boots. He went through like boots, like 5 pairs of boots during his time.
It's crazy.
And he traveled heavy. He actually brought a tent. Like a lot of these dudes that do that, they don't even take tents with them.
Right.
He was fancy, air quotes, and he took a tent. So now that I mentioned that, how much of that Appalachian Trail you gonna do of the 2,200 miles?
0. It's not my thing. I'm not a hiker.
I ain't lying, bro.
I'll do hiking locally. Like I'll drive somewhere just for some physical fitness and get the kids exposed to doing it. But it's just that's not something that I'm into at all.
Yep. I just said he had me intrigued. I ain't say I'm gonna do it.
That's right. I'll live vicariously through that guy.
I appreciate the story. That's what I'll tell him.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. This time went quick, but that's great. You and we will be doing some work together. Make sure we're going to get your socials on the way out. Bruh, I ask everybody this. I ask a few questions on the way out. What would your peers say to describe you?
Kind of how you said early on, like, oh, he's such a nice guy, pretty quiet, doesn't get upset very easily. I think that's kind of how people would describe me.
Yeah.
Which I agree with. I think that's pretty fair way to do it. Nice guy, very level-headed. I think that's probably the easy way to sum it up.
So I was in college a year before you,
right?
And I rep VA, and I was doing a pretty good job with my athleticism. A couple of my friends kind of dominating the school athletically, and then you and the VA boys showed up. I wasn't supposed to like you, Steve Lim. I'm not saying I didn't like them dudes. Matter of fact, I respected them. And as you know, we ended up collabing on some things later on. But they were true athletes that came to campus, and now they was threatening the throne. Steve, that's who you are. If you want to know what your peers would say, yes, I gave you the intro, but I'm also saying to you now, I wanted to hate you because you rolled with those dudes. Yeah. And they were a threat. But the rest of the story, first thing I said is, I think I asked you to come do softball with me. And then
first it was football. We were on your flag football team called Too Much Power.
You for football first. Okay.
Football. And then it was basketball. And then it was softball.
No, I had to do basketball last because y'all were against us.
That's right. Starting out, we were. Yeah. And they were lifelong basketball players. I was a casual basketball player. I got better by playing with them. Yeah. But I did not play a lot of basketball. I just played.
Respect your athletic talent. I hope your friends hear this because people, you so humble, dude. You probably don't tell people how amazing of an athlete you are. But you were holding your own, Steve. Like you were holding your own. I didn't look at the three of you as like, oh, that's the weakest link. No way. Me and my clique, which was really just me and Hiley, and then we just added anybody to me and him.
Baby KD, man, that's who we reminded of. Baby Kevin.
I thought we were Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett. That's what I thought.
Hiley was awesome.
I would just add anyone to us.
I think it's so important for kids these days to play multiple sports. Like I was exposed. I played everything. I wasn't good at it. I played tennis. I was really good at it. Terrible at soccer. Really good at swimming, basketball. Like I think it's important that children get exposed to all these sports just to be a better athlete.
Yeah.
And it takes you throughout life so much.
Do you remember how hard Hiley, all 100 pounds of him, hit that ball?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was a shot. But he had those are some of the greatest hips I've ever seen on anybody. That bro turned on those balls and he looked like he didn't have any kind of muscle, like you said, KD, but he was legit.
Yeah.
What an amazing baseball player.
The name
All
I've
right.
heard in a long time.
That's the first. I got about two more.
Okay.
And I got an honorable mention. Let me get the honorable mention now.
All right.
So the homie that you forsake all of us and you still sat with, I want him to hear this podcast. I hope he turned out to be an amazing person. Are y'all still in contact?
No, just grew apart over life, man.
Yo, it happens.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. But yo, kudos to you though that you did that. You did that. I had a friend like that. Shout out to Elwood. Had a couple other friends, but I was in a skateboard clique.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's that question I've never answered it, but yeah, I was in a skateboard clique. During lunch, we would go out and, as we call it in the skating world, we would session during lunch. That's what we do. We skate during lunch right outside the cafeteria. We working on our skills. That's what we did.
Yeah.
But all right, I believe it's 6 degrees of separation, Mr. Lim.
Okay.
I want you to tell me who is the most interesting person that you know. Not most famous. If that is the two characteristics, great. But who's the most interesting person in your life? And what will you do to help me get them on this podcast?
Oh my goodness. The most interesting person that I know in my life right now. Man, this is funny. So the most interesting person I know right now is someone I've met in February through virtual work. And then he came to work physically with where I am now at Fort Meade at U.S. Cyber Command in person. And he's a very big, strapping guy. You know, he's just fascinating, very interesting. His name's Jimmy. Probably like 6'4", 320. Like, man, I know he played ball. Finally, we got talking. He was in the Marine Corps. And then he played at University of Hawaii for 2 years as a tight end. Yeah, roommates with like a lot of great players. They got drafted in the NFL, and then went from there. Got hurt. And they went into the Army, and got out. Now he's a contractor, but he has his own business on this. He's trying to start his own business to benefit veterans in the future. And just every time I talk to him, I feel like I learned something more about him. It's just very, very fascinating. And I haven't had that with someone in a very long time. And it's so new. Like I said, I've only known him for a couple months, but very interesting guy.
Maybe so would you put in a word for me?
Of course I would. Of course, I'd talk ball with him all the time. He's a big Alabama fan. I talking trash about Michigan, and they're playing in a couple days. So I'm an anti-Alabama guy, but he's an Alabama guy. Yeah. So,
all right,
yeah, I'll talk to him.
Now, Steve, for all of the listeners, how can we stay up for the audio people? They don't see your information on the screen here. How can we follow you and some of your endeavors?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, but Facebook mostly family stuff. For my social media, I'm most active on Twitter. It's Steve Lim _DC. And for my podcast, I have a commander-centric podcast that I produce with two other guys, and I'm the host. And it's called Command This. So you can Google that. It's on all of the audio platforms. It's on YouTube. We're a little rough around the edges, not your traditional podcast. We tie one on and we get a little crazy sometimes, and we're a little rough around the edges, but we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, but it's mostly centered around Washington Commanders and that team that just drives us insane. So you can search for Command This. You can find me on Twitter, and now it's called X, Steve Lim _DC. And that's kind of where right now I'm getting roasted online for asking questions about Eric Bieniemy's offense as we speak. I screenshot a play of the receivers running a flood concept, but they're like 2 yards apart. And I'm like, this is terrible. And then apparently I become a bad guy now because I'm like, why is this terrible? I don't know ball, and don't ever tweet here again. It's funny though. Twitter is a funny place, man. It's a crazy place.
Yes,
if you've ever seen the Chappelle show, where he's in the internet, that skit, walking around, and there's all these ads popping up about making your junk bigger pills. And that's what Twitter is, man. It's a wild place. And now that it's not regulated anymore, so you can do whatever you want on there. It's crazy, but fun times.
Steve, this was awesome, man. This was exactly what I thought it would be. Yeah. And bro, we didn't even get a lot of stuff done because I would have wanted to talk a little bit about you being in the military. Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, same to you.
I definitely would like to get into a little more kid stuff. There's some marriage stuff I would love to get into. And then just lastly, we didn't really get to talk sports, and I would love to talk a little bit about the team that you rep so hard. So I'm going to leave that meat on the bone because that gives us a chance to come back.
Part 2.
I still want to do some other collabs, but I mean, I want to get that Steve Lim time again.
Always down, man.
Yo, I appreciate taking the time, man. For those who don't know, he's up late, East Coast time. I'm an hour behind him, but he's up late doing this. Y'all heard how his day has already been. But yo, this was awesome, Steve. Yes. I really appreciate you, bro.
Thanks to that. I appreciate it. Man, it's a blast, man. Time goes by when you're having fun and talking to good people. So we could have talked for 2 hours and it would have seemed like nothing was going on. So
I'm trying to be respectful of your time. That's what I'm getting at. That's
but I would love to come back and talk some more, man, about whatever. It's always a good time talking with good people.
Oh, trust me. I got more I could do. I got more in this little sheet right here.
Sign me up.
All right. Yo, have a great rest of the night. Get that sleep, sir, and go Commanders.
That's right. Hail to the Commanders.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Peace.